As we have seen earlier, whenever we need horizontal scalability on the number of containers, I can have Docker Swarm, where I can have a master and a number of worker daemons. To do this, I need to have a number of machines, and if we have the same offering within the cloud, then I can have the horizontal scalability very easily. Within Amazon, there is a service called Elastic Container Service, which is backed by n number of EC2 instances. Directly, I can go ahead and start the cluster as per my requirement, and I can leverage the other services of Amazon like the volumes, security groups, IAM, that is Identity and Access Management, as well as the load balancer, VPC, all the features available within the AWS, I can leverage along with the Elastic Container Service. As the name suggests, it is very elastic. I can start any number of containers I want. I can go ahead and start, and I can use the image and spin up the containers. Let us see a quick example on how to start the ECS. Within Amazon, I have an option called ECS. Under compute, I have an option ECS, Elastic Container Service. I can go ahead and get started. So I am going to define a cluster size, and within the cluster I can have a number of services, and what task the service should do I can define, and a number of containers would get started based on the requirement. So I can go ahead with the predefined configurations. Here it's going to start with the Tomcat web server. By default, all the task definition, everything have been configured. Let's not worry about the internal details about the AWS. So we have defined what should be there within the container, that is the Tomcat, and what it should do, that service we have defined, and how many number of tasks it should run, whether I should load balance. If I load balance it, it would create a load balancer, and accordingly, based on the load, the number of instances that is backed by the EC2 would get increased or decreased automatically. What should be the default cluster name? Let me provide the cluster name. I'm providing a cluster name, and automatically all the required VPC subnet would get created. Say next. So the entire cluster details is available, and it is going to serve in the port 8080, and this is the name of the service, and internally I'm going to have just one task, that is a Tomcat container would run. So all the required details would automatically get created right from the VPC, subnet, security group, everything would get created automatically. We can consider this almost like a PaaS, platform as a service. The entire container platform is going to provide. It works very similar to the Docker, and basically it's a ready-made Docker offering from Amazon Cloud. The entire cluster is deployed and the service should be up and running. I can verify the details. So I do have the cluster and the status is active, and I can check the details about the services. So there is a task that is running, and the task it's serving through the port 8080 in this particular IP address, and it is attached through Elastic Network Interface, and that's the feature within the cloud where elastically I can add any network interface to any service that I want. So against that particular IP address, the Tomcat service is up and running in port 8080. Against this, any application if I want to deploy, I can make it up and running. So this is a quick demo on how I can create the entire cluster as well as leverage the features of Amazon. At the same time, let's go ahead and check how to delete this particular cluster. I'm going to delete the cluster so that all the associated resources would get deleted. Otherwise, it's going to charge based on the usage, and that would reflect within the billing page. This would remove all the tasks, services, the security group, VPC, subnet, everything that got created, it would get removed from my account. The cluster is successfully deleted and removed from my